Hey, all, and welcome to Shooting the Shit. I'm your host, Betty Reed, and today's special guest is Kaylee Federmann.
Thank you for having me.
Hey,
I'm
thank you
excited to
for
be here.
being here. We are actually recording here at the Russell Hotel. We want to thank them for having us. They are a hotel here in Nashville, Tennessee, in the East End, which is great because that's super close to me and it makes it super convenient. And I think what they do actually is some of their proceeds from people that stay go to a homeless charity. So definitely check them out. And we're super grateful for them to have us here. So yeah.
Yeah, beautiful space, great for content purposes.
Yeah.
A lot of pretty lights.
It's
A lot
pretty,
of cool chairs.
It's definitely a church, and then it seems like they converted it to a hotel.
And they have free tea and coffee. It's a beautiful space.
And there's a lot of great places around here too. It's a great location. You could always walk to like one of the places down here and get a good delicious coffee, mocha, chai, whatever you want kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a special place.
So yeah, I want to chat a bit about what you do. So
Ooh.
my guest here she does everything from
try.
Songwriting. You're an entrepreneur, basically.
I'm glad it appears that way because when you're doing a lot of things yourself, you don't always know how it is coming across to other people. And there's always this feeling of I'm never doing enough. I need to work harder. And then you also end up spreading yourself too thin. But yeah, I mean, I do my best. I'm an artist like you. Mm-hmm. So I do pop music and I do pop rock. I've been doing music for a long time. I am from Boston and I moved down here 2.5 years ago. Yeah. And my producer moved down here with me and we started doing our own kind of production stuff for other artists out of his home studio. And then we got this really cool opportunity to run a bigger space, which used to be Big and Rich's. If you don't know who Big and Rich is, look up the song Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, and you will know who they are.
You just go down to Broadway and hear it on every
stage, every band, every cover band's playing it.
Cover band, go to karaoke night, you'll hear it.
You'll hear it. And I'm sure you'll hear some of the other songs. John Rich wrote for like Taylor Swift and Carrie Underwood and Keith Urban, like all the major country acts in the 2000s. He was like the go-to writer for it.
Songwriter.
Yeah. And so the studio was, it used to be Big Kenny's house, and it's actually in the back of what is the house now. It's the same property, but it's like two separate buildings. And he sold the property a few years ago, and he sold it to a couple, and they're not in the music industry, and they're like, now it's kind of like a private thing, but they've been generous enough to let us kind of make the back end of their property like a commercial-ish space. Obviously, we're selective and careful of who comes in there because it's still on private property, but we've been running the space for about a year now, and the studio was designed and built by Michael Cronin and John McBride, who also did Blackbird and all of the like big major studios in London. Specifically, Michael Cronin is dedicated to Tim McGraw, who did a lot of work there, and John McBride, who also helped build it. A lot of the gear there is from Blackbird. It's designed after Studio D, I think, which is like the mixing room. So it's really good for mixing, mastering. It's a 2-floor, beautiful space. And we do a lot of content there. We do a lot of recording there. We do a lot of our own stuff there. We're really blessed to have this opportunity because we can also do our own music there, which is really nice. Obviously, in today's day and age, no, you don't need a huge space to make music. You can make music in your bedroom. You can make music in your car. Like, you can do whatever you want. But having a space like this, I think, will propel you forward in an education sense of, like, really seeing music being made how it, quote unquote, used to be. You know, like, you will hear a difference in quality with certain techniques. I think it really just comes down to, like, who's your producer and do they know what they're doing? And do they have good style? Do they understand music? Can they speak the language? Like, my producer can speak music. That's his language. Like, he knows how to do it. I have yet to meet another producer who can understand music the way that he does and who is so fluid in his flexibility of being able to produce for people rather than being like, this is my style. Like, I have one style. You come to me for this style. Like, he can do anything. Obviously, he has specific tastes and likes.
Right.
But, like, if you're
that's
like,
always nice.
Yeah. There's a lot of, there's a lot of mixing. You can just experiment a lot, which is really nice. So that's been fun. And Right now, it's a lot of running the studio as like on the business side, and then also keeping up an artist project. And then I have an EP coming in the spring, which is going to be fun.
Yay.
It's like my first EP in a long time. I've been doing singles for a very long time, and I'm sick of it. I kind of just want to do a project so I can put concept around it and content around it and be excited about it. And we're doing a lot of film and TV stuff now. We've started working with a lot more sync companies.
Okay, yeah.
So now we're expanding with one guy that we're partnering with, and we're kind of partnering off of his label and creating like a sub label. And then we're writing for film and TV that way. We also have our own catalog that we send out for production music. So yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens this year. It's been a lot of build up and learning over the last year. Again, we've only been here for about 2.5 years. So we'll see.
I mean, that's a
third
lot
year's the lucky number
to get done and do and have to work with and everything and build up to in 2.5 years. So
yeah,
that's definitely an accomplishment in itself.
Thank you. We're trying. There's definitely dull months where it's just like, what are we doing this month? Like, this was supposed to happen, this didn't happen, and then we fill the time somehow. And then there's months where it's like, we have no time to breathe. So, but you know what? That's what keeps it interesting, and that's the life we chose.
Yeah.
And yeah, so not every day is going to be crazy, but that's okay.
And you don't just do that too, right? Have you been performing lately in gigs and stuff? So you're still, gigging and writing and doing the artist deal as well, besides the business.
I do. Yeah, I mean, it's mainly artist stuff. I mean, it kind of, they all go hand in hand. So like when we do sync stuff, that is also artist stuff. So not every single song that we write for film and TV, I'm necessarily going to release, because it's not always my artist project, but everything that I do for my artist project can correlate into the sync world. So we can still like put that on the album that we're doing for the guy that we're working with, that we're partnering with for like that catalog, but I still own that. I can still release that. Performing wise, yes. So I do a lot of, right now it's a lot of corporate gigs. It's a lot of acoustic gigs that are outside of Nashville that are, to me, they're more fun to play. I think that people that are a little bit outside of Nashville, a little bit more engaging, there's less people competing for like the spotlight, know? So that's been fun. And there's a really nice community like in Franklin and Brentwood and just like all around. Like if you go south, north, if you go in like a 25 to 30 mile radius outside of Nashville, it's a completely different community, and it's really nice to perform in front of. That's been like the main like performing wise that I've been doing right now. We have a few talks about doing like bigger shows in the spring. There's a couple people that we're talking to about getting on some small festivals. And then depending on like different artists that we bring into the studio, we've talked to a few of them about doing like opening slots for them. So hopefully, again, this year, I really want to do more performing. I have not done a full band show since July. And this isn't still the reason, but I was in a pretty bad car accident in July. And I thought I lost my hearing. So that took a long time to come back.
Oh my God.
And so in doing that, I was very, very, and I still am like very sensitive to sounds. And luckily it was just like a really, really, can we swear on here?
Yeah.
Okay. It was a really fucking bad perforation.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It was shooting the shit.
I was going to say, I was just like double checking.
Oh, yeah.
It was a really bad perforation in my left ear and a little bit on my right ear. And it took 7 months to come back fully. And I can go play. And like, I played a wedding and we did in-ears for that. So it's like, I can still wear in-ears and I can still perform comfortably. But since then, I just haven't been like forcing to get like full band shows and bigger shows. There's a couple of my friends that like will put on showcases, and I'm doing a couple of those in the spring, especially kind of when the EP is going to come out, just to like perform and get back into it and like do the band thing. And I have an amazing band that I love, and we have a space to rehearse, which is nice. But my goal is like March, April, May to start ramping up more of the full band stuff that I was doing for a while before the accident. And it's kind of like creation mode for me right now. It's like business creation mode. And sometimes that phase just takes a long time. And then I'm still performing. I'm still doing my gigs, which I really enjoy, my acoustic gigs. And I'm like getting a lot better at guitar. I was really good at guitar for like 3 years, and then my guitarist came along and I was like, well, you're doing all the
doing
guitar
it,
anyway.
yeah.
Like, why do I have to keep this up? And then I was like, this is fucking stupid. Like, I need to be able to play my instrument. So the acoustic gigs keep me like really in check, which is nice. And I also do a lot of my own demos and I play guitar for them. So
Okay, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
What would you give for advice for people that are starting to book shows for themselves?
I would definitely say like have a set first. You might think that like, oh, it's going to take forever to even get a show. Like if someone says yes today, do you have a show prepared?
Mm-hmm.
So like,
do you have a set list? Do you have all the songs?
Yeah, like get your show ready so that you feel comfortable. The more prepared you feel to perform, the way better it's gonna go. If it's your first time like getting into performing, like shit's gonna go wrong. Like you're gonna fuck up, you're gonna mess up the words, you're not gonna be on pitch. Like it's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're not perfect. No one's perfect. But
the more you do it though, the more comfortable you get, the more it
the more you also expect for things to go wrong. Like I've been on stage and like we use backing tracks. And now we don't use as many backing tracks like we used to. We were experimenting, right?
Yeah.
Like take the time to experiment, especially if you're in like a smaller show field. And the tracks would go out or like the click would come on like outside of our ears. And like we would be like, oh my God, what are we doing? I would lose my vocals. You know, like there's things where we were doing everything ourselves. We had to really figure out how to do everything ourselves. And now we know what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just get good at what you're doing. And then if you're trying to book shows, I mean, there's no real right or wrong way to do it. It depends on what your goal is and what kind of shows you're trying to do. If you're trying to do acoustic shows, call up coffee shops and ask if they want like acoustic players to just come in for a while. Or like sometimes what I'll do is I'll just like look at corporate companies. If I'm trying to get like a corporate gig, I will either look at corporate companies and find their marketing person or their events person and literally just email them and be like, hey, I see you have an event. Make sure they have an event coming up. Like, I see you have an event coming up in Nashville. Do you need music for it? Blah, blah, blah. Mm. And I've had people circle back to me like months, years later and be like, hey, we have our annual thing again. We didn't get you last year. Do you want to do it this year?
Oh, that's amazing.
So, yeah. And what's nice is like those will pay a lot more money than your average band show will, unless you have like a guarantee and you're going on a tour. But also just connect with other musicians so that you guys can put shows on together, because that's I think the best way to do it as well. And just get relationships with promoters and, you know, the managers of
people that run
venues. Yeah.
That run the shows, that run the venues, that run everything. Yeah. All about that networking.
Relationships are very much everything, especially in Nashville. Yeah. So yeah.
At least people are super friendly in Nashville. I think it's a lot easier here to communicate with people. Well, I mean, it's still hard. It's the music industry, so everyone's a little flaky. But like, people are still super nice and understand what you're trying to do and stuff, because everyone here's trying to do the same thing. So we're a little bit more like, we get it. We know it. You know.
Yeah, you're all in the same boat for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So we were talking about relationship building. It's definitely one of the more, just a very important part here in our industry is making friends, but I guess not for like making relationships, I would say, because not everyone's going to be like friends, like right?
Connections versus friendships and relationships. Yeah.
You know how they say like don't room with your best friend?
Yeah.
I feel like the music industry can kind of be like that too.
Yeah. I think it depends on the type of person you are and the type of person that you surround yourself with. I was visiting Nashville for a long time before I moved here, but I was really young. I was like 15, and I was hanging out with people that were 22, you know, like, and now to me 22 is like, that's everyone, like, that's young, you know?
Yeah, we're still,
so that's like, still young. That's still young, but like for me as a teenager,
15 and 22,
yeah, there's a difference.
Still different.
So I was visiting a lot, and I found a group of people that I really enjoyed, and I liked them a lot. And I wasn't living here at the time. I was visiting. So in my mind, I was kind of like, oh, these will be my people. When I move down, these are my friends. These will be my people. And I moved down, and I'm now their age, and they're older, and they've moved on, you know, like they've moved on with their life. Like they had kind of just moved there, and they were just a couple years ahead of me. So when I moved down here, I kind of felt like, oh, I have to start over. Like I thought I kind of had this friend group-ish, like people that I just would hang out with when I came down here. And I came down here quite often throughout my years. especially more between the ages of like 18 and 20, because that's when I was like kind of about to move.
I think that's when I met you. I met you at Belcourt Taps.
Yes.
I saw you perform.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm from Massachusetts.
I'm from Mass,
and I'm like, yes.
I was probably like 19. Yeah. So I thought that those were going to be like my besties when I moved down here, and they were not. And they are not. And that's fine. Like there's good people, they're talented people, but it's like they were in a different phase, they were in a different group, and I had to start from scratch and like build up my own community. And I'm still building my own community. There's times where I'm like, I don't feel like I have like the best friend that I can just call whenever. But then it's like I find someone that I'm like, oh, this person's actually like so nice. And we hang out like 3 times in a row. And I'm like, this is a really great person. But I do think finding those people takes time. And it's not like college where it's like you go into college and it's like you're like, oh my god, we're gonna be like best friends, and then it changes within 2 years, but it's like you have your core group of people, and then like those are your people, like those are your besties, for the most part. Obviously things change. I think in Nashville, because everyone like is trying to do pretty much the same thing, there can be this feeling of like, well, you know, when you meet people, sometimes it depends where you're going. If you're at like networking events or just different things that you go to in general, there is a little bit of a difference of like, oh, well, what can this person do for me? Naturally, I'm going to say most creatives, like you have that when you walk into a room, you're trying to find something that will benefit you, and they're trying to find something that's going to benefit them. And hopefully a friendship won't be something that will get in the way or will be a determining factor of like, well, I can't be friends with this person because, you know, they're a conflict of interest or blah, blah, blah. Like I put friendships before connections, unless like the person is not someone that I would be friends with anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's like a 35-year-old guy that I'm like, okay, this guy does X, Y, and Z for this company, and I really want to work with this company, whatever. I'm not going to be like, oh, I also really want to be friends with him. Like, I'm just going to be like, I just need the content. We can be colleagues and not friends. That's okay. And you can be friendly colleagues and not friends. And I don't think you have to be best friends with everybody that you work with. And I don't think that you have to work with everyone that you're friends with. I think you don't have to use your friends. Hopefully your friends want to help you in general. I think that sometimes there can be this feeling of like, well, my friend does this thing, but she's never offered to like have me on the show, or she's never offered blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. If you feel like you can't talk about that with that person, you have to think about, are you really that close? Have you just been using this person subconsciously? Because we're all human. Like we all kind of do things that are we all want to climb in some way. And I don't think that it's like a selfish thing to be like, oh, like you want to be successful, and like you go out and you find people who can help you be successful. You're trying to benefit yourself and hopefully other people. But at the same time, you're also going out to find friends. Like as humans, we want connections, we want friends, we want company.
Right.
So I think it's just a balance. We've had people come into the studio that I'm like, I've continued to hang out with them because I think they are fun and creative and generous and caring, and they're good people. And some of them have come back and used the studio, some of them haven't, and that's fine. Like some of them, they got what they needed and they moved on and we're still friends. Some of them, they continue to use the studio and we're still friends, and I help them with their sessions. So I think it's just a balance. Like, yeah, everything is relationships, so really just don't burn bridges. If you figure out that someone is not for you as a friend, you can still work with them as a colleague if they want to work with you as well, if it's a good fit.
Right, you can still be friendly. You can still be like
just don't make enemies. And to me, it's hard to make an enemy. You would have to be such an awful person. You have to like kill my cat to make an enemy. It's really hard to like burn a bridge in my book. Yeah. You have to do something pretty fucking terrible to suddenly not want to work with this person anymore. Unless it's like, hey, you're just not right for my show. You're not right for this part. You're not, whatever. You got to be able to take that and still be friends with someone as well.
Yeah.
So.
And we know this industry, you have to be selfish, like a little bit selfish in this industry. It's just kind of, you are building yourself, you're building your business, and you're doing that for you, right? So and it's not a bad thing to be selfish. I think that we are put in this society thinking, well, if you're a selfish person, you're a terrible person. And I think that's where we then get down on ourselves. Like, no, I need to be like, for me, I'm like, I'm such a people pleaser. So like,
Yeah.
I don't want to make someone mad at me or anything like that. And like, I don't want to be selfish, but to like we're building our brand. We're building our, so we have to be a bit selfish in those aspects, but we don't have to be like terrible people.
No, I mean, you can build yourself up without tearing other people down. You can build yourself up with building other people up too, but you just need to make sure that like there are times where, you have to put yourself first and be like, you know what, I'm going to go for this and I'm still going to help my friends do as much. Because what I've seen in groups, they grow together.
This episode is sponsored by Red Bicycle Germantown. It's more than a coffee shop. The staff feel like family, the food is out of this world, where you'll always get good coffee for a good morning.
When I was 15, 16 coming down to Nashville, I saw these groups. And then when I moved down to Nashville, like they all got signed together. They all got publishing deals together. They all went on tour together. Like it kind of was in classes of success where they all kind of came up together. And like, some of them, they all kind of do like a little bit of different things. Not everyone's trying to do the exact copy paste same thing, but like they all kind of were successful in their own field, even though it's the same field, but they were all in their own base. They were all successful in their own base of the field. And they all came up together, and some of them I'm sure still work together. And you branch out, and you can grow and not make enemies and still put yourself first.
Yeah.
And be with other people and grow with them. That's what I think. Personally.
No,
Find the balance.
I definitely agree. Yeah, finding balance. It's all about finding that right balance, and like what you said, like it's who you surround yourself with. And if you like working with someone, then but just like working with them, you don't like see them as a friendship growing, then that's a boundary that you set, right? Mm-hmm. But then if you're like, oh, I like hanging out with this person a lot and we work well together too, again, that's you just be truthful and honest about the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I like that. I actually want to hear a little bit more about your journey coming here, because we both grew up in Massachusetts. We actually both went to the same high school.
Yeah.
And then Berkeley. And then Nashville. So it's kind of crazy. So what was that experience like? Because I know you did Berkeley for a little bit and you came here. Or did you tour first?
Tour?
Or no, I think I remember you did a road trip here or something.
Yeah.
And you were like blogging it at some point. And
yeah. It was kind of sick.
That was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. So I dropped out of Berkeley my junior year, and I mean, the journey getting here, like I was visiting Nashville very young, and I decided like, okay, this is where I'm going to live at some point. And I actually convinced my mom and my brother to move here. My brother is 2 years older, so he moved here before I did, but I convinced him I was here first. I stand by that forever. And then my mom was like, well, if you guys are going, I'm going to go. So she moved down when I moved down. And so my junior year, I started taking road trips with my boyfriend down here. So I met my boyfriend in college at Berkeley. He is also the producer at the studio. So
just so people know, that is a 16-hour drive.
17. Yes. And so that was our ultimate test. We were together for not even a year at this point. We had literally just become together. And he was like, he was going to move to like LA. He was in a band for a very long time. The band kind of broke up. One of them blew up on TikTok. Now he's actually that guy's main producer. The band actually all lives down here now, crazy enough. I would like to think that I had something to do with this because I pulled one of them down here and he pulled the others down here.
Yeah.
So really I said, I'm moving to Nashville when I drop out of school. And he was like, when I met him, he was kind of like, well, I might like move to LA. I was like, good for you. See you never.
Bye.
And then like slowly, like because we kept getting together, he was like, man, I gotta go like check out Nashville. Like I could check it out. I was like, yeah, you can come check it out. So then I don't know what in our minds made us say like, yeah, let's just drive there. Cause like, why not? Why would we make a 4-hour trip into a 17-hour trip? But we were in our minds, we were like, think of all the music we could listen to on the drive.
It's an adventure.
Yeah. So, and it was definitely a test of our relationship for sure. And We passed because we're still together, and it took 17 hours, and we did that. We ended up doing that 8 times.
Oh my God.
Because we were like, yeah, let's just do it again. Let's do it again. And we got to the point, so in the beginning,
That's
we
love,
were,
by the
oh,
way.
it's love.
That's
yeah.
love.
Yeah, and there are so many times we thought we were going to die. We got stuck in Kentucky, stuck in a snowstorm, thought the car was going to explode, got lost, didn't have service for like 6 hours. There were times where I was like, yeah, this is how we got, this is it. Say goodbye now. and we're fine. And so the first time we did it, we like really planned it out. We were like, okay, these are all the hotels we're going to stop at. These are the states we're going to go through. This is the route we're going to take. This is our plan B route if this one doesn't work out. And by our like 6th time doing it, we were like, you want to leave at 4, maybe 5:30? We could probably get to like South Carolina by 3.
A little less serious.
Yeah, we're just like, are we leaving today? Did you want to leave tomorrow? We're driving. It's fine.
Let's just go.
Let's just go. And we would find hotels on the side of the road and be like, do you have a room? Slay. And then we would stay there and just drive the next day. We stopped booking hotels because they were the same price if you book them night of.
Yeah.
And it was sick. I picked out all the coffee places to go to. I was like, oh, there's a coffee shop. Let's go to this coffee place. We found so many different cool coffee places.
Screw finding hotels. Find the coffee
We
places.
found the coffee places. That was all that matters. We took our recording equipment with us. We had like our interface and the computer. We recorded along the way. It was really fun. And then we moved here. And I feel very fortunate enough to say that my family also moved here, which most people don't have their family here as well.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is like around the corner from me, and my brother is now in East Nashville, so he's farther away. He's like a 20-minute drive, and I swear to God, it's a hike. Like, that's something I have to plan out every time I want to see him. I make him come to us instead.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, I mean, I would say, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, went to Berkeley, had a great time. I think I've learned more here and in person and at the studio than I have at Berkeley. I would never trade Berkeley though, just because of one, the person that I met. If I didn't go there, I would have never met Will, and I would have nothing that I do now. Literally nothing.
Yeah. It's that stepping stone. It's part of the journey. Yeah.
Like,
part of the learning experience.
Oh, and also like it was fun. College is fun. Go to college.
Go to
like
college.
Don't skip it. I was gonna skip it.
Go to college for fun.
Dude, go to college. My mom literally looked at me and she was like, do you want to be 30 and wish that you were 18 and going to college? No. Go the fuck to college. And I was like, okay, I'm going to college. She's like, you're stay at a dorm. I live 20 minutes from my house because I grew up in Boston. She's like, you're going to stay in a dorm. Get the fuck out of the house. Yep. And I was like, okay. She's like, you can come home for laundry, which I did every Tuesday.
Same. Me and my roommate. Literally, we were like, time to do our laundry.
I saved money. I saved like $100 a semester. It was great. And my mom said you can drop out whenever you want, but if you start a semester, you have to finish it. Because I was also going part-time and I was going per credit because I'm also very dyslexic and I have like trouble taking in information in the same way. Like in a classroom, it's hard to do that for me. So
yes, dyslexic queens.
Yeah, I'm actually starting a brand called like Level Literate, and it's just the whole thing is about being illiterate. And it's a clothing brand, and I'm gonna just take quotes that my friends say because they're just fucking idiots.
Love that.
They're all amazing, but they say the most. They say the stupidest things, and it's like all of our friends say the stupidest things, right? So my brother and I have these quote books, and we've been putting them in our notes, and like they're quotes, and we'll tag who it is.
You're like, so put that on a t-shirt.
That's what I say. I'm always like, God, that should be on a t-shirt, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah.
And so my brother is a graphic designer, and so he's helping me design like the brand itself, and then I'm gonna just have it be kind of a part of my merch, but also be like a separate line, so it can just be like an extra thing that I have. And we'll see where that goes. So, yeah, I don't know. That was a side note.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the journey so far. And then we came here. We started in Will's home studio, and we were producing for some artists. We're producing our own music, going out every night, trying to figure out things. We really developed in that year, learning our limits, learning what we're okay doing, what we're not okay doing, in the sense of like how overworked we're kind of making ourselves. You know. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to not go out. I still struggle with like this idea of like missed opportunity. Like, why didn't you go out? You could have got something out of tonight, you know?
Yep.
Or you could have just met good people, you know? And so I struggle with that a lot. In the first year, I had a lot of trouble with it. And now I've kind of been like, you know what? If I miss the night tomorrow is still gonna happen, like
Yeah.
I'll go out tomorrow night, so
There'll be other nights.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I learned a lot, figured out our limits, our boundaries, and also because we're in a relationship and we work together, and that can be difficult because your whole life is like kind of entwined.
Yeah. Business and like personal.
Yeah, business and pleasure. You're doing it all. So
yeah.
So with the studio, we have just grown a lot together as partners, players, and people in a relationship. So yeah, it's been a good experience. We're learning every day.
Yes. Oh my God, life is a learning experience for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to hear more of your kind of insight, but also just like how you cope, because like everyone copes differently, but we all kind of struggle with imposter syndrome and like missing out, like the fear of missing out for sure. And for me, like I definitely have a lot of social anxiety. So when I go out, it feels like a whole preparation, right? And then you're there and you're like, okay, you need to like be in it and go chat with people and go do that and kind of, you just get kind of past that like person in your brain that just like wants to kind of sit on the side and just like kind of watch things happen or whatever. But then once you're in it, I think you like, for me, I think about it more before I actually do it, and then I get overwhelmed and I don't even want to go at this point. You build yourself up to a point where you're just like, this is too much. I'm not even going to do it. And I'm just rather lie in bed and watch Netflix all day instead of like, put on makeup or whatever, put on an outfit and just go and be social. But we have to. Yeah. It's definitely part of the job.
Yeah.
So do you ever struggle with that? Or like, how do you say you cope with when you do miss out and things like that? Like, how did you get to the point that you are now where you finally are like, be comfortable with it?
Well, I still struggle with it sometimes. I mean, I think for me personally, I've been to enough events where I'm like, one, there will always be more. Whatever, I will tell myself, and my mom will also tell me sometimes, like, whatever you missed was not a make or break. 99% of the time. Like, whoever was in the room that you somehow were not able to go that night, maybe you got sick or you're just really fucking tired, or like it's okay to be tired. Or like for me personally, I was in a car accident in July. I'm fucking scared of driving places. I've still struggled with PTSD and it has affected me so much that there are events that I want to go to that are way out in East Nashville or like or that are not even that far, and I'm like, I'm just fucking scared to drive. Drivers here scare me. I don't know. I had to relearn how to like go out again, be brave going out. I had my boyfriend drive me places for a long time. I Ubered, like I lost money, but I'm settling, so it's fine. But yeah, so I think, remind yourself that whoever is in that room is probably like 99.9% of the time not a make or break. Like whoever this person is not going to be the person to like take you to the moon. And you know what? Even if they are, like, you will find them again. Nashville in specific is such a small town that like if you miss one event and you go to the next one, odds are the same people are probably going to be there. So you will see them again. It's a small town, and like you go from neighborhood to neighborhood at these events. And if you miss something, like you miss something, and that's just kind of the reality of it. Again, 99% of the time, you didn't miss something that you're not going to find again at the next one, which is going to be like probably the next day. However, Nashville, I don't know what it is. Somehow, everything seems to fall on the same day of the week. There's like weeks where it's like everything is like a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and then every show is like Thursday night. And it's like, did you know there's Friday night?
Yeah, too? There's other nights.
There's other nights. Spread it out. So, and then it's also a testament of like, well, how much can you and your body take in one night? And you go from event to event. I've done that a couple times where I've like done back-to-back things, and sometimes it's exhilarating. I'm like, yes, I did it all. I did everything I said I wanted to do. And sometimes I miss the last one and I get really sad. And I'm like, well, I made it to 2. So I think I was also just being like, you know what? I did 1.
Gotta give yourself credit.
Enough. Yeah, like I did enough. Or it's like, I had to keep working on something else today that is going to be the thing that actually propels me in my projects and what I'm trying to do, rather than go to this networking event, which has no guarantee. But I will say, like, any going out, you can't lose anything, you know, other than some time. If it ends up not being worth your time, like, you tried. I tell myself, like, talk to at least 3 people and you'll kind of get warmed up and just see where it goes. 99% of the time for me, like, I end up really enjoying and being happy that I went, even if I was kind of like, I don't really want to go tonight. I kind of just want to stay home. And if I go, I'm usually happy that I went. There are many times where I've gone, though, where I'm like, wow, that was a fucking waste of time. I wish I stayed home. Like, wow, there was not one person in there that I enjoy talking to, or even if I enjoy talking to them, it wasn't an engaging conversation. I'd rather go to a place and have one really engaging conversation that I at least can learn something from. I want to be able to walk out of the night with something I didn't come with, at least like a question that was answered, or, you know, a link to like a cool site that I can use for content or ideas or editing or something like that, or a friend or a contact, you know, like something that I didn't walk in with. So as long as you feel like you got that, I think it's a win. Even if it's like, I don't know if that was worth it. Like, think about it. Like, it probably was worth it. You know?
Yeah. For me, like, now I make myself say at the end of doing something that I was scared to do, or like, you know, to go out, once I go out and do it and like go to the event or go to, you know, whatever, and I go back in my car to go home, I say, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I say it to I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
You went out, even if you know, all the things beforehand, just like to be like, I'm proud of you.
Yeah. As you should.
Yeah.
Your brain needs the validation sometimes to be from yourself, to be like, that was good. Good job.
Good. Yeah.
You did it. Good job.
You did it.
Yeah.
Now you can
go
home. Now you can go home
Yeah.
and snuggle with your cats.
Yeah.
Like, give yourself a prize, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Don't
And
be so
also-
upset for not doing it either.
Right. And also, like, learn to enjoy it. If it starts to become, if you're ever doing something that you start to just hate, like if you're like, I hate going out. Like, I hate going out. I hate going to events. They're too loud. They're too this. Don't go.
Don't go.
Like,
Yeah.
life is too goddamn short. Don't spend your time doing something you don't want to do. Find other ways to connect with people. Do it online. Do Zoom greets. Like,
Yeah.
there are programs that like you can just get online, or find quieter events. Like, look up the place, look up the event, look up the whatever
Right.
the thing that they're doing is, you know? Because there's times where I walked to an event and I'm like, how can you talk to anyone? It's so
Yeah.
so loud,
Or so
like,
loud or so overwhelming, or just
there's
like
too many
there's
people,
no
like, and it's like everyone has their pod already, and you have to like break in it. Oh my god, done that. If you know, at one point you just have to be like, what am I gonna lose? I just walk it. Hi, what's your name?
Put
That's
yourself in the
great.
space. That's what we
Put
have to do.
yourself in it.
Put
Just
yourself in the
hi.
space. Yeah.
And sometimes, most of the time, people are like, "Oh, hi, like, what's your name?" And you start the conversation over. Where are you from? What do you do? How long you been here? Yada yada yada. And then you can get into the good
Once you're in
conversation.
it too, it feels so much better. I feel like it's always
so easy.
You just
Yeah.
always kind of get that mind loop before you actually get into it, and then once you're there,
find a buddy to go with. Like, find a networking buddy. Like, my friend Sarah, I'll go with her sometimes. I'll take Will. And I've gone by myself so many times that I'm like, sometimes it can be easier to go by yourself because you are forced to talk to people.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Like, otherwise, if you're with someone, you can kind of be like, we'll just stand back
yeah,
here.
we'll just
you
like
know?
sip our
sip our free drink and stand back here. And it's like, no. Like, you came, you paid $10 for parking. Like, make it count.
Oh my god, yeah.
Especially if I paid for parking, I'm like, I will be here for the full hour. I will talk to everybody.
I will
paid $10.
drive around for a good extra like 10 minutes if I have to look for a street parking. If I but you know, if it happens,
sure.
I'll pay for parking. But I'm such when it comes to like parking, I always look for another alternative before I'm just like. But you also have to be really careful not to go to a place where you're gonna get towed. It's like $75 here in Nashville to get just
it's like
for a
$100
ticket.
in Boston.
No, that's just the ticket. That's not even like if you actually get towed.
Whoops! Don't get towed.
This episode is brought to you by Jack Brown's Germantown. Nothing like the perfect combination of beer and burgers. With one of the largest selection of beers and unique burgers to try, you'll never be disappointed.
Give a shout out to your podcast.
Yeah, my podcast is called Planning and Plotting. I do it with my friend, although there's a chance I may be going solo just because she has a lot going on. She's a busy girl, always running around doing things, and maybe we'll come together again. But if it's not meant to be, it's okay. I still love her. She's great. Super talented.
Solo projects
might happen. She's always welcome back, but we'll see. I pride myself on being a really good texter. I text people back. I call people. I do not leave things on read. I don't even have my read receipts on. Personally, I think that sometimes that can be offensive because then there are times where you're like, oh, well, I read it. I forgot to respond. It's like, girl, just turn them off. Just turn them off. Don't hurt anyone. Just turn them off. You know, then if you really did, then if you really like didn't see it, quote unquote, like you did see it, but you didn't, then you can't make the excuse, you know, because you just like outed yourself there. I think that you learn things about people quickly and their communication skills and also just like their type of communication. Like I've learned Will's communication very well. Like I know that I got to call him. I can text him. He'll respond to my text very quickly, but like he's a caller. I'm going to call him. My friend Sarah, she's a caller. I'm going to call her. Great texter, but like there are times where it's like if I need something quick, I'm going to call her.
Bad texter. You'll learn that from me real quick. So
you know, and I called you coming in and I was like, she's probably a caller.
Yep.
You know, you just gotta
you figured
learn
out.
things
Absolutely.
about people. Yeah. And it's like, and that's not a bad thing. There's no like
I put my phone down and then just
you know what?
gone.
You're in life. Like and that's fine. And that's okay. Like just learn the communication style of your friends and of your peers, your colleagues.
Yeah.
And like and how they work because it can get so frustrating so quickly when you're like, this person is not understanding what I'm saying. And I'm like, you need to either fucking call them or show up at their door and talk to them. And then figure out what their talking language is. Like, don't say things like, you did this. Like, saying things like, it feels like this. Because then what are they going to say to that? Like, I didn't do that. Well, I feel like you did. Okay. What are you going to say to that? You know? So, like,
especially when you're face to face. And also, like, some people are more blunt than other people. Like, we're from Massachusetts, we're a little bit blunt. Remember that when somebody's blunt to you, like, know who they are, like you said. Like, know what they're saying. Like, they're not trying to be rude. Like, sometimes just the way they talk. When you learn the way people talk and you take the time to do that, because, like, you're not going to get that right away. But, like, when you start to get to, like, okay, they're not yelling at me. They just talk really loud. Like, that's just the volume of their voice when they're speaking.
Yeah. Or things like the way this person texts is the way they text everyone. They're not being short with me. They're being short with everyone. That's just the way they text because then when I see them in person, they're like loving and caring and attentive. But then I text them and they're like, no, period. Maybe.
What did I do wrong?
My God.
What did I do wrong?
Stop texting like that. It's not cool. It's not cool. Unless you are my mother, do not text like that. Anyway, yeah, you'll learn things about communication and your friends.
I think we're always still gonna learn about I think there's always a learning curve with communication.
Yeah.
With everyone, we all communicate differently, so it's learning everyone's way of speaking, talking, communicating.
Yeah.
And knowing too, like knowing that it's something you need to be conscious of when you're meeting people and, you know.
Yeah. You only know your way of communicating and what you need, and that is not their way.
Yeah.
So do not assume that it is. Sometimes it will be, and you'll find like your match, and you guys are probably gonna have a great friendship together. And that's usually where great friendships and relationships come from, is if you have the same communication style. If you don't, then it's just a learning thing, and then you figure it out. It also depends, like, is this person someone that you want to take the time to learn that with? Is that your friend? Is that your colleague? Is that your partner? Like, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah. Yeah. People enter and exit your life. That's just kind of the way it is. And the people that stay that's just how it's meant to be.
Yeah. It's a journey.
It is a journey. Life is a journey.
Put
that on your t-shirts.
Life is a journey.
Don't put it on your t-shirt. That's probably the worst. I think it's more fun having stupid sayings on t-shirts.
Yeah. We'll see where it goes. Might get canceled, but you know what? Someone will buy it.
Yeah. Make a couple dyslexic ones. I would absolutely.
Yeah, they're all spelled wrong. That's the thing. Is all the quotes are like slightly incorrectly spelled.
Like spelled how a dyslexic person would spell it.
Yeah, like spelled how it sounds rather than how it is said.
Which is how it should be done, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, I didn't write English. Clearly, I'm still learning it.
That's
why they didn't let me take another language in high school. They're like, you don't know English, bitch. Like, go to special ed classes.
Same. Oh my God,
like,
same.
Okay. And my mom became a special ed teacher, and she was like, y'all know nothing. And she still
I loved my special ed classes, though.
I liked my special ed classes a lot.
Shout out to Miss Lockhead.
Lockhead.
Please tell me you had Miss Lockhead.
No, I had, oh my gosh.
You missed out. She was fantastic.
I had a wonderful teacher there was one, Miss McManahan, something like that. She was lovely. And then I had another one that was my junior and senior year special ed teacher. And yeah, she was just like so easygoing. And every once in a while she'll email me and be like, "Hi, like I thought of you. Like, how are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh my God, that's so awesome. Stop. I'm doing great. I hope you're doing great."
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I feel so bad I'm blanking on her name. She was lovely. Like I hope that she's doing well.
There are teachers I think about actually pretty often, like here and there. Berkeley teachers, high school teachers, and I'm like, I'm pretty grateful for them.
Yeah.
Actually, very grateful for a
be-
lot of them.
Should be grateful for the good teachers. There are some not good teachers, but
Rini Befister, like, you made college at like, because I was struggling towards the end, and he just made it so much better for me. He really
Yeah.
supported me. So like,
I love
shout out
that.
to him.
Aw.
Shout out to Paula Cole for
Paula
believing in
Cole.
my songwriting and just being an
Aw.
absolute star. There was just some great teachers that I'm so grateful to have. That's like one thing
yeah.
at Berkeley where there were just some great people that I'm so grateful that
Oh yeah.
were in my life.
Yeah.
Even in high school. High school was hell for me, but there were some teachers that made it so that I could make it. Like,
Oh, I love that.
you know,
They said, "You can do this."
you can do it.
You
Just
can do
get
this.
through it.
Yeah.
Just
get through it.
it.
24 years.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no way I should have graduated high school.
Oh.
There's no way I should have graduated high school. I wish I remembered her name. She was like the front desk person that you'd go to when you were late, or like
Oh yeah.
if you like had to like give them the like parent note that
Yeah.
you're not going to be whatever. There were times where she put in that I was there when I wasn't, or that I was late or whatever, and like
Aw.
that's
so sweet.
I
Have a
wouldn't
homie teacher
trade.
like that. You need like a homie teachers like that are so
Yeah.
important.
Or just like you be that person to someone too.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to be. I would love to be that person to somebody, or have my song be
Yeah.
that way for somebody that they're like, I listened to this and it helped me through something.
Yeah.
That's like, I think one of my biggest goals or wishes. It's what I want to achieve. I think that would be a success for me. You know, like we define success or whatever, and I've talked about this before with other people on this podcast with success, but that would be a success for me, would be somebody that's like, I listened to that song and it like made me feel really good, even just to make you feel, or like relatable and things like
Yeah. I mean, everyone just wants to feel heard and validated. So I think if that's the number one thing that music does, is like make you feel less alone, or make you feel alone in a really good way.
Yeah. You're like, I'm alone, but not alone.
It's just feeling. Like everything is a feeling. So and people go off of their actions based on their feelings 90% of the time, which sometimes is a good thing and sometimes is not a good thing. Sometimes you have to use logic, not emotion.
Oh, tell my brain
Sometimes.
that.
But music is all emotion, and I think it's like even things that people haven't experienced, like loss. If people haven't experienced loss, and you can write a song about loss and you can bring them into that world, it's a very like vulnerable piece to share with someone. So I think that it's a very special connection that you can create with music.
Yeah.
Also just like it's fun. Like make someone laugh, like make silly music, like make someone be like, wow, that was stupid and crazy and fun. Anything that takes people out of reality, they are gonna want back again.
Yeah.
It's like a drug.
Yeah. I like that. That's great.
Yeah.
Hey music lovers, this is Betty Reed, your host for Shooting the Shit, a podcast to help you navigate the music industry. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to help the podcast grow. And thanks for listening to me and my guest shoot the shit.
Well, I really enjoyed having you on.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me.
So glad that you were able to do this with me.
Yes.
I swear these just get so good. It's so good, but it gets better and better each time. I'm so happy. Thanks for shooting the shit with me.
Oh, anytime.
And do you want to tell them your socials?
You can find me anywhere and everywhere, but it's just Kaylee Federmann at Kaylee Federmann on Instagram and YouTube and whatever else next platform is going to take over TikTok.
Yep.
But yes.
We'll have all the links below. So yeah, I am your host, Betty Reed, and this was my guest today, Kaylee Federmann. Thank y'all for listening to us shoot the shit.